So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna see if we can fix this thing. So
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We got a really cool video today. So anyways, if you guys have some amplifiers that aren't doing what they should be doing, and they're not like completely smoked, you know, burn up things on the boards and stuff like that, hey, ask around, man. You can figure out some cool information. So I posted on our Facebook, the Hi-Fi Redo Facebook page, just some stuff about MTX amps and stuff like that, and somebody was super gracious and said, hey, check out this Facebook page. It's dedicated just to, you know, vintage MTX stuff. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Well, I was reading some posts and came across somebody, and I messaged them and said, hey, you know, you fix these things, and you know, you sound like you know what you're doing. Little did I know who this person was. And well, you know, this person said, hey, here's what I want you to do. Tell me what it's doing. Okay, so we did that. And let's, you know, open the thing up and, you know, give me a look. And I think I know what's wrong with it. So David Stevens, who is AKA Amp King, you know, has worked in the industry. He's built these amps. He's fixed these amps. He's touched these amps. He knows a lot. So we had a little bit of a conversation.
And then I put the cover back on, and then before the glue dries, screw that screw in tight.
Okay.
And then when the glue sets, then, you know, when you push your RCAs in from there, it won't push that back.
And so anyways, so isn't that cool? So yeah, so we're going to go through and we're going to take a look at this thing and we're going to fix this thing. So how cool is that? So we've got the amp all apart, as you saw before. And I'll tell you what, these trays, we've got this one from Recoil. It's super cool because one, it's not conductive. You can solder on this thing. You can power up on here. You don't have to worry about shorting anything out. They're soft, they're nice. You can kind of pick it up. It is a little floppy to pick up like a tray, but put all your stuff you take out, super cool. So, you know, as David talked about some things, this here, what these two pots are, is basically like a bass boost. They're calling it like a bass EQ. And when I got this amp, it was missing the actual, you know, knob, just like this is the gain knob here. This is the high pass, low pass crossover. And so there was a Allen key included with it. And so if you stick the Allen key in and you don't realize what you're doing, you need to stick it in far enough that it engages both of these pots. So like I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned, but anyways, so you know, this thing, we powered it up and it powered right up just fine. But as soon as you put any volume to it, it just made this sound, and it would play music, but so something was wrong. And so after talking to Dave, Dave said, well, your pots might be out of sync, which might be causing that. So what I was able to do was turn this pot all the way down, go to the other side, get to this pot, you know, and turn it, you know, the same direction down. So now they are both turned all the way down. They're synced. And if you want to, you got to make sure that if you want to, I don't know why you'd use the bass boot, but you got to just make sure you insert this thing far enough to turn both. So, but Dave's initial reaction was, hey, I know what's wrong with your amp. I totally know what's wrong. Not a big deal. I fixed thousands of these things. So what he told me was, so you've got, this is a 2-channel amp. So on the back side, you've got 2 legs. here, right? You got a right and a left. And then they have a mutual grounding leg, you know, because an RCA's got an input signal and a ground, right? He said what happens on these things is this center leg breaks off the board, or it breaks off of the actual RCA connector, this thing, not the board. So you can see down at the bottom here, it actually protrudes through the board, right? You can see it coming down here. This is it right here, this vertical thing, okay? That is the grounding leg. But if you look, it's broken. So, you know what? 30 seconds, this dude knew it was wrong, you know, and, you know, why take something out of service? This amp is mint. I mean, all the mounting feet aren't broken. I mean, excuse me, none of the mounting feet are broken. The finish on this thing is perfect. It's great, you know, and this thing is clean. It's, you know, got a build date here, 1 of 17 of 97. Got the model number, revision A. So this is all cool stuff. And he also gave me some insight, I will say, on
some of this. Well, I can't remember if these were the Circuit City, or the Blue Thunders were the Circuit City, or if these were the Best Buy.
Okay, I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you, mom and pop shops. I carried Blue Thunder.
Did you? Okay.
And I did that for a purpose. Do you know why there's two different lines?
You know, all I know is all their amps, the 75s, the 25 watts, you know, they all came with all different numbers, but I think aren't they all pretty much the same internal boards and things and stuff, a lot of that?
No, but they were the same amp. They had stuff moved around.
Okay.
Now, and there's differences. The bass boost circuit was different. The Blue Thunder ones had a lower frequency.
Oh, okay.
Now, there's a reason they had two lines. It was so they could carry more stores.
Right.
It's a small town and two stores in it. Both of them couldn't carry Thunder. Okay, it was against the rules.
Okay.
So what we did was, one store carried Blue Thunder and one store carried Thunder. That way, when they carried price things, and customers walked in the door and said, well, they're carrying the Thunder one for this amount of money. You say, oh, that's a different line. Ours is $10 more.
Oh, I see.
Dave suggested was take, you know, a resistor. This is a diode, actually. And don't use the diode. Just cut this leg off of it and use this leg and solder it into the RCAs in here to create a new leg. So solder one end to the board, one end to the RCA, and see how that goes. He says that I should probably be able to do it without even taking this thing out of the case, which, to be honest with you, is not that hard to take it out of the case. There's a screw here in the middle of the board, another couple screws, 1, 2, 3, it looks like 4 screws, and, you know, unscrew the hold downs there, and the board should just slide right out. But we'll see what I can do, and we'll get back. All right, so we removed the hold downs on all the FETs, and there was 5 screws on the board. And as you can see now, the board is just slides right out of this thing. So I'm gonna try to mock this thing up so I can get in here a little bit better and repair that leg. All right, well, I'm having a tough time with this thing, and I wasn't able to try to reattach a leg. So if you see, like, right here in the middle of this thing, there's supposed to be 3 legs on this thing, and you see there's only 2 because the other leg is still attached to the board. So I desoldered this thing, and it was not easy. Sometimes this lead-free solder, this old stuff, doesn't flow real well. My solder sucker, that deal, was not working very well. So I'm trying to pull this thing off. I'm trying to figure out, do I just get a new one of these, or do I try to attach a leg on this center pin? You see this one that's horizontal, that it's supposed to bend, go 90 degrees and come out just like these other 2, and that is the grounding leg of these RCAs, and that's the problem with this amp that we need to fix. All right, so this thing's back together. Moment of truth. See if repairs went well. Anyways, put new thermal paste inside this thing, and we're gonna put the cover back on it, power it up, see what she does. All right, I got this thing on the bench. Had a little bit of a mishap with actually how to hook these things up, which is kind of odd, so I'm gonna tell you a little story. So I use these quick connect connectors that are really cool, and I couldn't get this thing to power up right, and so I was trying to figure out what was going on. Well, I actually had just one of these loose connectors on the bench with the rest of these connectors, and I plugged it into the amp, wondering why it's not getting any power. So anyways, I've resolved that, and these are all hooked up. So David Stevens, this one's for you, Mr. Amp King, and literally his telephone tech service. And, you know, David knew that right off the bat. Like, there's your problem, take it apart, fix it, yeah, you son of a bitch. You know, so, hey, thank you, Dave. So, anyways, without further ado, let's see what she does. All right, let's see the gain where I'm not even sure where the gain's even at. Okay, that's all the way down. That's all the way up. I'm gonna call that a win. So, you know, I can't say enough, man. You know, Dave, you're the man, dude. Seriously. This guy knows his stuff. You know, he's a bit eccentric, but I tell you what, this guy is knowledgeable, and he's worked on this stuff, and literally through messages and over the phone, you know, explained to me, like, here's what you need to do, here's what you're gonna do, and you know, 100%. So it makes you wonder, hey, how many of these amps are laying around that have issues like this, that people are like, oh, screw it, or just throw them away? You know, a lot of the stuff is easily fixed. The hard thing is finding somebody to fix this stuff. And, you know, where I'm at, you know, there's guys that do a lot of the, you know, vintage home audio stuff, but they won't touch car audio stuff. You know, I don't know. They think we're all a bunch of white trash freaking idiots or whatever, you know, not the audiophile, you know. So, you know what? Take your time, fix this stuff. And you know, what's the big deal? You got an amp that you're $50, $75 into. Who cares? You know what? I mean, it sucks to blow it up, but fix it. Like, literally, this thing is beautiful. Like, it's pristine. It's very nice. And you know what? It's back in service. So, anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all this stuff. And thank you guys at the MTX Vintage Forum on Facebook, MTX page. You know, you guys are awesome for, you know, sending Dave my way. So great dude. You know what, hit him up. You know what, he'll fix your stuff. You know, if not, find somebody locally. You know, hit the forums up and the Facebook pages and all that stuff. So, but you know what, if you're handy with the iron, I'm okay with the soldering iron. So I'm pretty cool with it. I'm still learning. So anyways, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.